Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today's live event. Sorry, we're a little bit late. We just had some technical issues, but everything is okay now. So, hi, I'm Jessica. I'm the Social Media and Community Manager here at University of the People, and I am here with our Director of Program Advising, Kelly Pozinski. Hi, Kel.
Hi, Jess. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm also doing well, thank you. It's great to be with you again this Monday.
Yeah, and we're practicing social distancing, so that's great. Um, so, guys, we're here today for our third episode of our weekly student update. We are here every week at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for an update with Kelly. So this is an ongoing thing. I think it's really important that in the days of uncertainty, we're here to provide you some consistency. So it's really an honor to be here today, as usual. Today we're going to talk about some kind of how to stay motivated during these times. I'll get into that in a moment, but I just want to say that in these weekly updates, we will be answering any questions you might have, covering main things to look out for in the upcoming week, and just general tips. So the aim is for us to be here to provide useful information. So I hope we are doing that. And please feel free to comment. I see Policy Cat. I know Sterling. Hi, Sterling. How are you? From Haiti. Kenneth, hi. Becca, thank you guys so much for joining. Jed, Danielle. You guys are like regulars here. Thank you so much for tuning in.
That's our buying tickets, Jess.
Yeah. So as we know, it's academic. It's week 3 of the academic term, and we want to welcome again all our students. How has the third week been so far, guys? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear how your experience at UoPeople is going along. So as we know, Corona has impacted students from all over the world, but not to worry, nothing at UoPeople has been disrupted. That's because of our cutting edge technology, our volunteers, our instructors. Really, we have a really strong team, and we're here to provide you with the best education possible. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And we will continue to provide that outstanding online education without any disruption. Okay, so with that being said, let's move right along. So let's talk about motivation, shall we? So what Kelly and I are going to talk about are tips to stay motivated in your studies during COVID-19, but they also apply in real life. Without COVID-19 situations. So we all know that feeling of trying to get started on an assignment, reading, or studying. You need to really get the ball rolling, but you just can't seem to push yourself to get started. I know I've been there. What about you, Cal?
Yeah, I've been there, Jess, and I'm also a procrastinator.
I am too.
Have to get done. For example, I will then decide, no, now's the time to clean the kitchen, but it's never been the time to clean the kitchen before when I have to do the task or sit down to do something. So I'm a queen procrastinator.
I am too, really. Actually, I didn't know that about you, Kelly. Yeah. I think people we work with probably know that about me. But I always do get everything done, but I am a bit of a procrastinator. My new trick is if I'm thinking about procrastinating, I'm just gonna do it because I want to avoid procrastination as much as possible. And we'll actually get into that a little bit. So nobody wants to procrastinate, right? Pushing your tasks until the last minute, that can lead to stress. less thought out work and likely poor results. So we have great strategies for student motivation, whether you need to study for a test or write an essay, we got you covered. So as I mentioned, we are in academic week 3, which is crazy. I can't believe how fast time is going. If you are new, do you feel like that too, Cal? Like the time is just...
Well, time is going very fast, Jess. You know what they say time flies when you're having fun. So I guess that we are all having fun and enjoying ourselves because this time is just flying.
Yeah, definitely. So many of our students are new to studying online, and we are all affected by COVID-19. Most of us are, isolated or are in quarantine. But I really believe positivity is key. So how can we stay positive while studying, Kelly? Do you have any ideas or tips you'd like to share?
Sure, Jess. So staying positive in general can be really tough, and especially during this current situation of uncertainty, it adds additional stress, and sometimes it can push us to think more negatively. So my first tip is when starting a new assignment, or if you come across a difficult problem within your studies, the first thing that you should take your mind to is something positive. Sometimes it tends to be negative and a thought can pop into your head like, I can't do this, or I might have a challenge. The first thing is to focus your mind to actually think positively. And also it's a good idea to not make yourself be frustrated or upset, because this can demotivate you and take away your positivity. And in order to stay positive, you should just, if you're having a hard time finding that positivity, take a small breath and think about all the amazing goals you are working towards and what you want to achieve. Because often when your mind's caught up in that negative space, it's very difficult to think about the bigger picture and the future.
Okay, well, really great.
A few tips regarding positivity.
Yeah, really great tips. I'm all about positivity. I kind of just smile my way through everything, even if I'm upset, because I really think that smiling and laughing is contagious. And if you know me, I'm pretty much always smiling and laughing.
So if I see you smiling and laughing in the office, Jess, I know that you have a negative thought.
No, I mean, I'm just naturally like smiling. Oh, when I'm upset, but it doesn't happen that often. I think I'm turning red. It's really funny to see myself. My face matches my hair. I smile and laugh my way through life. Like, I think that's really one of the best things to do. So I'm gonna stop talking about myself because I'm really red. Okay, so moving on. So getting involved in your classes and coursework will also be sure to keep you motivated. So you feel like a sense of community and belonging. And since we are an online university, what are some ways that our students can be more involved during their studies or classes? What can you suggest for that?
So the suggestion I would have here is for all the online coursework, utilize the online discussion boards and don't be afraid to email your instructor if you have any questions that may be unanswered or open. Also, just in regards to utilizing the online discussion boards, even though you are in an educational platform, you never know through what a person will respond based on what they're learning. Maybe you can find that you have a common denominator with that person, and you can actually, although you are in different places in the world, you can actually find yourself like a lifelong friend, which I think is really amazing, like a pen pal or just someone to speak to and to also you guys motivate each other, encourage each other. So I think it's something really unique.
Yeah, definitely. And we do have students studying with us from all over the world. So you do have a lot of opportunities to make friends from all over the world as well. That's one of the unique things about University of the People, I believe. So I want to talk about.
You have a live, like a few weeks ago, Jess, about 2 girls who met in class and who've now become friends.
It was a while ago, but yeah, shout out to Cecilia and Elizabeth, my girls. They are the cutest. They're both business administration students, and they met at UoPeople. I did a Facebook Live about them. I would actually love to interview more people who've met online. So if you guys, if you have met, a new friend online, like, why don't you DM us on Instagram or Facebook, because it would be cool to do another interview like that. Their story's really cute. They've actually never met in real life, but they're very good friends. And Elizabeth lives in Kenya, and Cecilia lives in South Africa. So they've never met. So I hope one day they get to meet. It's a very cute story. And you guys can check it out on our Facebook page. So moving right along, I want to talk about incentives. Well, Kelly, do you incentivize yourself with tasks that you don't want to do? Do you reward yourself when you do a task?
So I try to do that, except the incentives I can never stick to. Like I told myself, if I will do this, I will give myself a block of chocolate or take myself to like somewhere relaxing, but I always end up eating the whole chocolate. So the incentive, it doesn't really work for me. I'm more the positive thinker.
Yeah.
And saying at the beginning of each day, like today I will accomplish this. Like I'm making an accomplishment list. That's just me. I'm not so much for incentives myself, but I know incentives work amazingly well for other people.
Yeah, so
I can offer some tips to our students how they can incentivize themselves when they study. So I think the first thing is for students to know what gets them going. So if they're feeling down one day and they need an incentive, they should maybe start with the subject that they know gets them going and that they're excited and passionate about. So that will lift the energy levels and will help them throughout the day. Another thing is maybe study treats and snacks incentivize someone while they are learning and maybe writing. So maybe you can have like a bowl of popcorn next to you, and every time you achieve something in your studying, you have like a popcorn,
Yeah.
or the chocolate next to you. And when you reach after a certain amount of study time, you have a chocolate. So that's an idea that I have. Another one is also exercise. You can use this as a motivation to reach when you get to your study break. So you say to yourself, if I will study today for 3 hours, I will take myself on a 10-kilometer run. That would never be me saying I would take myself on a 10-kilometer run. But some people really do like exercise in the outdoors. So this could be an incentive for them. It would not be mine, but it could be others. Like yours, Jess, could be going to yoga once you've reached a certain amount of time in your studies. Another one, the last tip I have is keep yourself in a study routine. So if you see yourself each day in the same study routine, maybe you want to say to yourself that night, okay, tonight I will watch this series because today I stuck to my study routine. So those are the tips that I do have.
Well, that's a really great, I'm looking at the Those are really great tips. Julia Altman thinks we should have a Facebook Live of you going on a 10-kilometer run. I would join you, Cal. That we can be filmed and and Becca, I love yoga. I can't start my day without it at home. I also love yoga. And I also love running, actually. I don't get to do it as often, like when we're in a normal schedule, but I really like running. Okay, so
Ken also agrees with me on the part of exercise. So Kenneth, why don't you share with us what maybe one of your exercise incentives might be when you're studying? Would love to hear from you. So yeah.
Great. Okay, so while Kenneth is speaking or typing, we're speaking. I'm going to ask another question about how to stay motivated. So, studying or working in the same way, the same routine, every single day can get a little tiring or unmotivating. How can students mix it up?
So, Jess, I agree. It can get boring in the same location each day and the same, like, you're just coming every day to the same thing. So some tips that I have is maybe making some flashcards, creating a game for yourself, for drawing pictures, or turning facts into songs. And I will just use like song as an example, and I will take it back to the most basic thing, and people will laugh, but songs actually tend to be effective because this is the most basic of basic examples. But whenever you will go to like a small child and you will start saying ABC to them, you will hear that they will sing the ABC in a song back to you. They can't just go A, B, C, D. They go like the full song that they've learned. So this is a very effective technique for students. I know some are not singers, but
sorry, that's just the dog. He wants to join the Facebook Live or the live event.
It sounds like he sings also, Jess.
He's singing to me right now. He's like, please let's stay motivated. Okay, sorry, Cal, keep going. Sorry.
So as I said, singing, and this is a very effective way because I use kids as an example. Also, you'll go to them about 1, 2, 3, and they will sing it back to you, like the numbers. Also, once you find like a creative way to study, you might get other ideas to your mind because your brain's now thinking out of the box and how you can retain that information. So you may get other creative ideas. Also, one thing that I want to mention, Jess, is another technique that seems to be quite successful is you record yourself saying like the study material, and then you put earphones in your ears and you play it back to yourself. So you could do this whenever you wanted to. You could also do this before you go to bed. You're literally just listening to yourself talking and going over what you've learned. So that's another technique that I wanted to share. But if our students or anyone else would like to find out more about creative studying, they can also go onto our website to our blogs, and they will be able to find other creative ideas. But I would love to hear from our students if they have any creative tips or ways to study. So if you have any, please share it with us. And I can see Kenneth responded about how he incentivizes himself with exercise. So he says that he does 10 to 15 push-ups, and it flows the blood to his heart and brain. So he feels alive and awake again. And then he goes back to his learning and reading. So Kenneth, thank you very much for sharing that with us. It's very interesting. Like, it's very fascinating to see what people do. So thank you for sharing that with us, Kenneth.
Actually, Kelly, I never even thought about the recording yourself tip. I never did that. That sounds like it would be really helpful. Because if you hear yourself, it's going to stick more.
So back in the day, I used to do this where when there were cassettes, I still had a tape, and I actually like used to press the recorder, and like the tape would go around in the machine. But nowadays, you know, you have voice notes on your phone. There are many other ways to do it, but this is really an effective technique. So I would suggest people try this if it's something they're interested in.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great tip. Thank you. Okay, so we kind of covered this before, but I'll bring it back. Getting to know your classmates or people you study with can also be a great motivator. Can you remind everyone how they can get to know their classmates or their other students who aren't sure how to get to know them? We kind of covered it, but let's bring it back.
So they can see in the discussion forum who could be in their group with them. They can also use Yammer, like our official social media platform, where they can get to know other students. So those are two ways that they can get to know their fellow peers. And Jess, it's really important, like I touched on a few minutes ago, to know who your peers are, because like I said, you can really build that connection with someone, and they can be there to help you, motivate you, to remind you when the deadlines are, although we have the same deadlines every week.
Right.
But, sometimes it's just nice to hear from like your friend or your study buddy, however you want to look at it.
Okay, great. All right, so let's talk about self-reflection. Well, I am all about self-reflection, maybe a little too much, especially during these weird times where we have some of us have extra time on our hands. Other people might not, if you have children and your name is Kelly and you're managing a family. But self-reflection is very important always. And I believe when you are a student, it's especially important to self-reflect on your study habits and see how you can improve or what you can do differently. What are some ways that our students can do this when it comes to studying?
I think one effective technique, which I will speak about now, is to determine your strengths and weaknesses for each class. So you can maybe perform a SWOT analysis on yourself, which for those who don't know what a SWOT analysis is, it's identifying your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So if you're taking 2 courses, or no matter how many courses you're taking, Jess, you can look at it as a whole unit and identify altogether what would be your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, or threats. And from this, I think it's important for you to self-reflect, to come up with a strategy, and to set your goals of what you want to achieve. This SWOT analysis can take time. Like, it's not something you can just sit and write today. If you are interested in doing this, I suggest you take like a day or 2 to think about it, and then you seriously do it, because it's very important to connect your goals to your SWOT analysis and to self-reflect on what you actually want.
Yeah, that's great, Kelly. You're like a motivational speaker over here. I love it. I just saw a really great. Sorry, Kel?
Yeah, I was also going to speak about a comment, so maybe we're going to speak about the same one. So I'll let you go first.
Oh, well, I was going to say, I really like, now I can't find it. Where did you go?
So I'll say mine then while you look for the comments.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the same. We never know. So I want to speak about Alfred's.
Yeah, me too. Okay, you go.
Okay, so Alfred shared a very interesting thing, how he stays motivated. So he said that he keeps an end goal in mind, which is very important. And what he does, sorry, Jess. What he does is he usually puts like a stick card of what grade he wants at the end of a semester or course, I'm guessing, and he puts it on his laptop. So whenever he's studying, he knows that the goal is in sight and that's what he wants to achieve. So maybe if he sees himself deviating or not feeling so motivated, the goal's there in his face. He knows what he wants to achieve and the goal is reminding him. So Alfred, this is a very good way to motivate yourself. And how has it been? Has it been a successful for you in motivating yourself, or could this be a new technique that you're trying? I would love to know how successful this motivational stick card that you are doing has been for you. So if you can share with us, great. I'll look forward to hearing.
Yeah, I was also going to share Alfred's comment. I think it's really great. So Kelly, it's no secret that, we all need support, but students especially need support. What's a way that students can kind of feel a bit more supported? Because when you feel like a sense of community or support, I think you're going to be more motivated.
So Jess, first thing is try create a support group with your classmates, friends, or families or teachers early on in your student career. You'll always have someone to go, to, even if that student's not with you in the same course next term. You know that you've established this bond previously with the students and they can motivate you and you can motivate them. So that's very important. Also, reach out to your instructors if you need some support or you're feeling down with your studies. But the most important thing for students with support is if they're looking for someone to support them or they're not feeling motivated at that time, reach out to your program advisor. Your program advisor is there for you to support you, to guide you. Even if it's not academically related, they should reach out to their advisor for support. I'll just give you an example, okay? Now, many of our students are facing uncertainty with Corona and they're feeling anxious and unsure, not even anything related to their studies, but they're reaching out to the program advisor just for general support, and the program advisors are offering them this general support. So I think it's very important that if they need a support, they contact their advisor. And no matter what they share with the advisor or the kind of support that they need, it is always kept confidential. So if they're worried about something like that, it is confidential. And I want them to know that they can reach out to their program advisor if needed.
Okay, well, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. Also, guys, you can always reach out to us on social media and we can help you as well if you're not sure like which direction to go into. So Kelly, I think you have been really helpful for sharing information on how students can be more motivated, especially during these times. So thank you so much for joining us today. As usual, I really appreciate it.
Sure, Jess, it was great to be here. Motivation is, I'm very passionate about the subject, so I thoroughly enjoyed the live today.
Great, thank you. So guys, on our blog on www.uopeople.edu, we do have a blog there, and you can check out more tips on there as well. And don't forget that on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we have a Facebook Live with Sarah Merlino. Shout out to Sarah if you're watching. Sarah was recently featured in a NAS Daily video. The video hasn't been released yet, but it will be soon. And Sarah has a great story. She was homeless at a young age, and then she had children and she had to drop out of school. It was difficult to find a job, but then she really wanted to get back into school, so she enrolled and then got a degree, her MBA at UoPeople, and now she works at Amazon. So she has a great success story. So we're going to talk to her about her UoPeople journey and then her career path. So it's always great to interview graduates, because you can kind of see what your future can look like. So I know that we have students on this live event and applicants. For students, thank you so much for joining and being here, and applicants as well. But for applicants, I want you to know I saw a lot of questions asking how you joined the university, and I want you to know that I put a description in the description of this event. I put a link to our application, so you just have to copy and paste it into the browser, and you can apply. Any questions can be directed to admissions@uopeople.edu. And for our students, any questions can be directed to your advisor, as Kelly said. So that's one of the really cool things about UoPeople. We do provide you with support from the beginning until the end of your journey. So that's all we got today.
I just have two things that I want to.
Yeah.
Yes. Firstly is Alfred, I didn't see a response from you in the comments. So if you're still listening, please send to, if you're a student of ours, please send to your program advisor if your tip with the grade on your computer on the sticky note is working out for you. I'll be really interested to hear. If you're not a student, you can private message Jess, and she will let me know what you informed her. And I just want to address one last comment, Jess, that I see.
Yeah.
It's from Dingani, and she said that she has applied for a leave of absence from her studies. How does she stay motivated for learning during this time on a leave of absence? So, Dingani, my suggestion for you on how to keep motivated during your leave of absence is, depends what program you're studying, is maybe you want to do some readings up on this, on the program of study that you have chosen. Maybe you want to look in the catalog at courses that will be available to you, and you can kind of do research online to see if these courses would be of interest. So that will help you to stay motivated to want you to learn. You can also read, maybe write yourself a goal plan, even though you're not studying and you are on a leave of absence. Like, just write yourself a general plan, and that will help you to stay motivated to continue your learning once your leave of absence will finish. If you want more tips, Dingani, I'm happy to share with you. You can contact your program advisor, and I will be happy to share other tips with you on how you can stay motivated for learning during your leave of absence. So those are two things that I wanted to address before we left, Jess.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing, Kelly. And to everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We're here every Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And so I guess we'll see you next week for episode number 4. Okay, everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected with UoPeople. We're here for you. And please feel free to reach out with any questions. So we'll see you next week. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Jess, and thanks for having me. See you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.